Howdy guys, Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live. We're about to do the tough video where basically you hammer me with difficult questions from callers that call into the phone. The phone is 407-279-1754. And we've got the first claimant on the phone. So what we're going to do is get her to go ahead and let us know what is her first question. So ma'am, can you tell me, remember to use a fake name throughout this process, what is the legal question that you'd like to ask?
Susan, I'm on SSDI. And one of my question is, I just received a disability update report. And my second question is, can I work?
Okay. So first question is, so you're going through a CDR, which basically means that they're checking to see if you're still disabled, which means that if they find you not disabled, yes, you can lose your SSDI benefits and you're combined with that DAC benefits, which are, of course, your disabled adult child benefits, showing that you were disabled between 18 and 22. And basically they take from your parents' Title II benefits that they paid in, that your parents, your father or your mother paid in. Can you work? Yes, you can, but you are restricted. You're restricted by the SGA limitations of the SSDI program. And as a result of that, basically you have to keep in mind that you can't earn over a certain amount. And if you're working, you should be in one of those helpful programs like the, program. Those are kind of like the mainstay ones. In mind, but remember the Ticket to Work program, the idea is to stay on your disability benefits for 5 years, but then after that you leave disability benefits and only work. So you got to be a little bit careful with that one. But do you have any additional questions for me before I pop to the next person?
Well, what I don't understand is if I'm on my dad's Social Security and I'm entitled to it, how can I be cut off from that? Because I'm entitled to it, right?
Well, you're entitled to it until you're found not disabled. Once you're found not disabled, you are no longer disabled under their rules for DACs. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Well, thank you.
Perfect. You have a wonderful day. I'm going to take the next call and we'll go from there.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, guys, I'm going to wait until the next caller calls in because usually before I can get my finger to the phone, somebody else calls. Come on. Come on. You dial the phone number. It's the 407-279-7. There it is. All right, here we go. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to answer a specific question or would you like me to run hearing questions with you? Remember, we need to keep it to about 5 minutes. Go ahead. Yep, go ahead with your legal question.
Oh, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Attorney Walter.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. How are you?
Very good. But yeah, walk me through. Yeah.
Last time I mentioned that I had an upcoming disability review.
Okay.
And I was told by the federal office that it was pencil marked for June 2nd.
Okay.
Now here we are, June 22nd, and I haven't received any notice in the mail, but I periodically have called the federal office, and lo and behold, they told me they have nothing in their records that indicate that I have an upcoming review.
Mm-hmm. So you called the local FO. They said, hey, no update, no new review. That's a good thing. I mean, look, if they don't have one scheduled, then you're in the green and clear until basically the computer puts you up for another one. So that's a good thing.
The only thing is, several months back, I had called the federal office, and several times I was told that June 2nd was the big day. Then I called the local office here in Pennsylvania, the local field office.
Yep.
And they told me that I had already done one last year, according to their records, and that I'm going to have to wait till next year.
Yeah, but you got to remember,
so now,
there's multiple levels to review. Like they could have done a review already and completed it internally by buying your medical records from the medical facilities if you gave them the okay for their their E827, which is their HIPAA. So they could have already done a review without you having to fill out the form, or they could have sent you a short form or a long form, CDR form, and you completed that, and then they did the review. But remember, they do a lot of this 8-step sequential process, which is the elements those are the elements used to go ahead and see if you're still disabled under the rules and regulations, under the original law that was created when you were found disabled. So they could do all of this without you even knowing it, and then pull you off the calendar for what you said was June 2nd. So, I mean, look, it's you probably had an internal review. It's probably done already.
Well, what another strange thing is that I called up the local office most recently last week, and a young girl answered the phone, and she said, "Hey, you got a review coming up." And I said, "What kind?" And she said, "Oh, we're still opening it up. I can't let you know until we actually mail it out." So I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be a CDI unit involved, stuff like that, or an 827 that's still fresh on the file. So, but yeah, you should be fine. Let me take the next caller, good sir. I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful, wonderful night. Okay.
Oh, you too. Thank you again.
Thank you, good sir. Bye bye. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you?
I'd like to ask a specific question.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I didn't recently, but I've applied for disability. I'm currently in Springfield, Missouri. It's the lowest acceptance rate in the nation. I guess it's only accepted 38% last year.
It's so bad.
But I've got major,
yeah.
It's my diagnosis is major neurodegenerative disorder and dementia.
Mm-hmm.
I've already been denied once, and then it's been set up for review.
Mm-hmm.
I've already done the 4-hour test. What would be the next course of action? Well, and then, of course, I was just diagnosed today, too, also with degenerative disc disease with primarial stenosis.
Mm-hmm.
So what would be the best tactic to go for next? Basically, what would be the next steps?
Okay, so what you're saying is, all right, so just to understand, you're saying you've got these impairments, you've gotten a denial, you're now appealing to the next reconsideration stage. You want to know, how can you prove your claim for those types of impairments?
Correct. Mm-hmm.
All right, so that's a really, really big, that's going to take more than 5 minutes. All right, so let's go through the basics with the neuro. What have the neurological examinations showed on the machines that they've output? Like, what are we looking at for the numbers?
Well, the only thing I've got is the report that I'm currently looking at. The diagnosis it says assessed major neurocognitive dementia, FO3.90, identified mild cognitive impairment with primary deficits in processing speed, and then, of course, major depression, and to try to rule out hyperactive disorder. That was sent back to my doctor.
Okay, so you got a mile on the neuro. Did they give you an actual classification as to the severity of the depression?
Mm-hmm.
So what was the severity level with the depression?
It's major depressive disorder, recurrent.
Yeah, but that's not but there should have been, and sometimes they don't put it on there. So did you go see their doctor by any chance? Because their doctor would have given an assessment on the severity of how it limits your functions for the depression.
I did go to their doctor, which was just an in-office visit with him, but I have not received anything back from him, and I don't know if I am supposed to. But that was done about 3 weeks ago.
All right, do me a favor. You're going to call up the DDS rep and ask for a copy of your mental status examination. And here's the deal. They're not always supposed to share that document with you. So if you run into a problem where they say, no, we're not going to give it to you, then you need to go hire an attorney. And then basically, it'll be inside the ERE. Your attorney can just download it and send it to you. Now, technically, the attorneys are not supposed to send those to you, because you might, become red-faced and angry and go take it out on the doctors. But, so long as you are willing and capable to, not cause any problems with that doctor, you can usually get your disability attorney to go ahead and basically send that off to you. And it'll be in the F folder inside the ERE. That is a crucial document that will say what your limitations are, both on the impairments and also the resulting residual functional capacity, like what you can do on a daily basis with work and home stuff, which is absolutely crucial to understand whether or not they are going to give you a vocational allowance or no vocational allowance. But as it sounds like right now, the mild cognitive limitation that you have, that's not what they're shooting for. Because remember, it's mild, moderate, severe, extreme. So based just off of that, it doesn't sound like a high approval rate potential claim.
Okay, and the degenerative disc disease with stenosis.
Okay, but how bad is it? Like, that's the thing. Like, when somebody's like, I have this, I don't know how bad it is. Like, where is it? What do the images look like? All that stuff. Yeah.
That's in my neck. They did the MRI, and this is coming from the VA, and they're scheduling me for surgery, anterior surgery for fusing.
Okay, so you're looking at a fusion situation for surgery. What's your VA percentage number?
I'm not percentaged out on the. It's not a VA disability.
Okay. Okay. So, this is what I would say. The question you're kind of hinting at is, essentially like, you're asking me to figure out how to win your claim, which is fine. That's fine. It's a little bit too big of a question for just like tonight. In order to do that, I have to see your medical documentation. And keep in mind, like, for me to really know if a claim is good or bad, it takes me a full claim review, which is like 6 to 10 hours of reviewing all of the records.
I do understand that. I was more worried about what would be the tactics. What do I need to get together to give to them? That's more or less.
Well, you got to get RFC reports completed. That will show severity level from your doctors. You've got to show cognitive limitation. You can do that through intellectual quotient exams. You can do that through memory exams. You can do that through sleep studies. You can do that through a lot of ways. You've got to show an inability to go ahead and complete basic tasks. So having friends, family write letters about, how you've, can't use a stove, can't use this, often forgets how to do that, drives places and then forgets where you are, stuff like that. For the neck issue, you got to show limitation with movement, like due to the pain, high level pain medication, you're driving, to the doctor, can't be too far. You have to wear a brace all the time. You have to use a walker with a seat. You have to show those functional aspects. But again, if I don't know, I've got a neuro, I've got a depression, which is under the mental, and I got a musculoskeletal for the neck. I just don't know how bad, but if we were talking fusion of the neck, that sounds severe, Hope you there?
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still there.
Perfect. So
Okay.
Look, if
I appreciate all the guidance on that.
Do you have an attorney so far or no?
I do have an attorney. I don't want to mention the name, but it's a large chain, but I've never received any contact from them on anything.
Okay. So
the Social Security sent me forms to fill out. I filled them out and then sent the attorney a copy, and that's the only contact I have with the lawyers.
Okay, so let me give you a 3-step list, because people don't like it when I give them 5 steps. It's too much. A 3-step list. Step number 1, you're going to need to get a prescription for limitations with moving your neck. Okay, so we're talking about stabilizing / movement assistance. So we're talking about, anything that stabilizes the neck, anything that helps with, crutches, walker, canes, rollators, whatever, stuff with that. So that's step 1. Get me some ambulatory devices, get me some, neck restriction devices so that, we understand your limitations. Number 2 is going to be pain medications that limit mental functioning. and limit your ability to do, driving of cars, typing on a computer, things like that. So we're talking about pain medication, high level. Next thing is going to be essentially, honestly, the next thing I would get for you is a sleep study. Because if you got a neuro problem, a depression problem, and a neck problem, those line up well. I get a sleep study, and then let me know what the sleep study. Well, I mean, let your attorney know what the sleep study results are, and then from there, or just call me again on Thursday night. But from there, you're going to know essentially how often are you waking up, what's your brain doing, what's going on when you wake up. Are you going to bed consistently? Are you waking up consistently? I mean, that would be a starting point, because you're going to figure out a lot of problems. And remember, a neuro, a depression, and a neck problem, that's time off task, and that's, days missed at work. So that's one of those vocational, like what's your current age?
I'm 56 years old.
Oh man, you got to grid this thing out. You got to set yourself up for a grid out. So, all right, do those 3, and then we'll talk about a grid out on another call.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I've gotten more help from you than I have from anybody else. Thank you.
Thank you, good sir. Well, you have a wonderful night. Alrighty, here we go. I'm going to take the next call. Okay, so we're taking the next call. Here we go. And let's see what we got here. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. I'm with Disability Resolution PA, disability attorney. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or I'm going to run hearing questions with you?
A specific question.
Sure, go for it.
First off, I want to really thank you. I've got approved. Again, went through 100% you. Everything that you have provided was awesome.
Congrats.
Question is,
yeah.
Question is, the lawyer group that I had is charging me $7,200, and I never. It's sort of like the guy before. Never even got the first answer back from them. I got more answers from you on Thursday night than I ever got from any of them.
Sure.
And when I originally agreed with them to represent me, they said $5,000. So what I'm looking at on this paper that Social Security says if I dispute the overall amount that they are charging, and now they're charging $7,200, which is $2,200 more than what it was. Do I dispute that, or do I just let it go?
So basically, the statute was originally $6,000 as the max. It got raised up to $7,200 when Commissioner Kijikazi got in, because disability attorneys were just mass leaving the field. Enough money. Still at $7,200, there's not enough money to represent most claimants with custom work. A lot of these law firms, the disability firms, they'll pick a claimant up and then they just won't do anything with it until they get to a hearing. And that's kind of how they do it. But what I would say is this, basically, I mean, here's the thing. You probably signed an original contract that said what the statute amount is, which you probably said $6,000 on it, because that's what all of them said. And for the longest time, they've all said that. And then there's usually there's a clause in mine that says, but whatever the max of the statute allows, that's what the charge is, which is now $7,200. So they'll fall back on an original signed thing that says, it's this amount, but whatever the max then becomes. So you could claim that, but the problem you're going to run into is that they're going to have your signature on a contract that says, $7,200. Now you can say they didn't do much, and you can argue that, and go that route.
You did more than they ever did.
Yeah, and yeah.
I wish you could have got the $7,200, because straight up, you are well worth that.
Thank you.
And paid closing. If I could swap that over, I would have. But like you said, I've already signed it. But when they came in, and it never went to a second case or anything, because with your information in the grid out that I was allowed to go through, it worked out. I didn't even have to go to trial. It 100%. They found me disabled. By your knowledge, you rock.
Thank you.
I did give you a donation last week after I got my. It already went into my account, which is awesome. And I tell you, I watch you every week religiously. You and I give you Google reviews. You're just awesome. But again, I just wanted to know if I had any leg to stand on, or if I just let it go.
If it was, I mean, let me ask you this, because this is really what it comes down to. How many times did you speak with the law firm over that period of time, and how many times did you speak with the attorney over that period of time?
Never spoke to the attorney. I spoke with the operators probably 15 times over 500 days.
Okay.
But not ever was it. They always told me that they were sending the Social Security Administration a text and would be getting back with me.
Mm-hmm.
Not ever did they get back with me. Never got a review back. I kept calling until I got fed up and started watching you on YouTube.
Sure.
And gave me all the information. I went directly to Social Security Administration and discussed it directly to them by myself and with your information, with your knowledge, not anybody else's.
Yeah.
So that's what got me my situation that was approved within 500 days.
You can always go and, if it's one of those situations where, it really, they didn't do anything. They just said, hey, we'll get a status update or whatever. And remember, some claims are tough too, because some claimants, they have no health insurance. They have no financial abilities to go see a doctor. So it's like, when you say a lot of the things that you can do to maneuver a claim when it comes to medical treatment, when it comes to, okay, you need to get this kind of, test, you need to get this kind of, result from the test, all that kind of stuff, and guiding the process of what needs to happen. Some claimants don't have any of that. And so you're rudderless as a boat when going through this process on the medical side. But this doesn't really sound like that. This just sounds like a firm that took on the claim and sits with it.
100% correct. And again, you and your videos helped me get through it. And again, I did have, and I've got good health insurance, Blue Cross Blue Shield, and was able to go do everything that you suggested and went through it and I was worried because I wasn't getting any information from my lawyers, but by you and you telling me to go and call and ask them about the grid out and go directly to the person who did my review and all this, went through 100%. Like I said, you rock. You should get the money if anybody gets the money.
So I would say this, you've got a couple options. You can A, let it go through. B, you can reach out and basically say, hey, look, I'd like to seek a reduction. And then what they'll do is they'll reach out to the attorney to basically see what their response is. Their first response will be, hey, we got a signature on a contract for a fee agreement. And then they may just, push it through. The other alternative is they may require that the attorney produce what's called a fee petition, which is where they have to outline hour-wise what they spent on the claim to go ahead and do what they did. The tough thing with that is that, when I look at the fee petitions we create at the end, it's always like we have so many little things that we do to get it to these little points. And the problem is the claimants are usually never aware of that stuff. Now, with that said, other firms, there's not much custom work. They're not interacting much with the DDS reps. It is what it is. So what I would say is this, you can go that route, but just, don't have super high expectations about beating them because they've probably got a contract with the signature on it. But you can always argue it and you might be able to get a reduction in the fee. And then basically from there, that'll go into your pocket, which is obviously, if they didn't do stuff, that's better,
Well, like I said, I would in a heartbeat transfer it to you because again, your firm, you and everything that you have done and the answers that you give put me way ahead of anything and got me my approval. They never, again, it blows me away with what they didn't do. But again, what you have done, and again, I did give you a donation, and I will give you some more just as soon as I can afford it. It just, you rock, buddy. You do, and I appreciate everything you do.
Excellent. Well, good, sir. Any future questions, don't be afraid to give me a call. And basically, all the best. Your life is going to kind of change going forward. All the best. And make sure you check in at some point and give us an update,
All right, buddy. Thank you very much. And you have a wonderful and blessed day. And I hope your house comes out well.
Thank you, good sir. Have a wonderful night. Bye-bye.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So that was really uplifting for me. That was really awesome because I know the videos help some people, and I don't always get to connect with them, and that's just an awesome feeling. Shirley, yay! Thank you, Shirley, for the $2.99 donation. Thank you. Very cool. Howdy, Shirley. Howdy. All right, let's get this next call coming in. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you? Go ahead.
a specific question.
Sure, go ahead.
So I have a friend that's on SSDI, and her husband received a 401k distribution.
Mhm.
And when he received that distribution, they deducted her SSDI checks.
Okay.
Is there any way she can recoup that money that they deducted?
I'd have to see specifically what happened. And, because remember, SSDI and 401ks from a spouse, they're not so concerned about source limits and deeming, because remember, that's like SSDI, she paid into it. Are you sure she's not SSI?
No, it's SSDI.
I don't know. Have her reach out to me, because it sounds like there might be an issue here where they, potentially took when they shouldn't have. Have her reach out to me with like a short email and some helpful documents as to like what happened. And I can always do a video explaining the details of it. If it's a situation where they shouldn't have done that, I'll let her know and kind of give the details. If it's a situation where they were supposed to, I'll make a video on it anyways, so that way she knows like, what went right, what went wrong.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. I appreciate it. You're doing great work.
Thank you, good sir. Have a wonderful night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Awesome, guys. So, whatchamacallit, that was a good question. With SSDI benefits, they're not usually looking to see how the spouse's, actual money affects the other spouse. Because remember, with SSDI benefits, you pay in. You pay a FICA tax, and a part of that FICA tax goes to Medicare, retirement, and disability. So, next caller, here we go. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout the process. Would you like me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you? Go ahead.
Just a specific question.
Yes, ma'am.
I filed for my disability, and they didn't send me for anything physical, but they're sending me for a mental.
Mm-hmm.
Is that normal, or is there just not enough information for them to do the disability, or?
So basically, when it comes to only having one, consultative examination, medical expert appointment where you go to see their doctors. So I'm assuming you do have physical impairments, correct?
I do. I have lupus and a whole bunch of other things.
Okay.
I have lupus, high blood pressure, tachycardia, diabetes. My back's messed up. I have a whole lot of things going on.
Okay. So do you go to, the hospital a lot for those particular impairments? Like, do you have a lot of specialists, doctor or PCP that you go to all the time?
PCP I go to every month.
Okay, cool.
But he sends me to like specialists and things like that to get like MRIs and stuff like that I need.
Okay, cool. So, and here's why I'm asking that. They likely have enough medical evidence on file to not have to send you to their medical doctor to get an assessment. And when that happens, what they're really saying is, we're good. We know what we have. We know what we need. We know the severity levels. Now they're just gauging the mental side, because I'm guessing you don't have a psychiatrist or psychologist that you see like once a month, but rather your mental evidence is not as strong as your physical evidence, correct?
Correct, because all the older ones I had, I can't get the records to.
Okay, cool. So bottom line is they're sending you off to that because they're not sure how severe you actually are. And that's how they're going to gauge where you are in the severity level of mild, moderate, severe, or extreme. And you've got to be severe, or as they call it in the medical field, marked, to go ahead and be found disabled for that. So they're good on the physical. And the next step is essentially, where are you at with the mental? Once they know where you're at with the mental, then you'll get a decision in the mail.
Oh, okay. Does that usually be good or bad when they do that?
It could go either way. I mean, it's one of those things where they know. So here's the thing. People want to assume like, okay, they must know it's really, really bad, but it could not be that bad. It could be that you have a lot of medical evidence for the physical and they just have a really good outline as to where you're exactly at, which could be mild, could be moderate, could be severe, could be extreme. But with that said, it's a good sign when you have enough medical where they don't have to send you to their doctor to get their upkeep or their update. Because remember, their doctors tend to be a little bit biased with the output that they create. So when you've got enough from your doctors, that's a good sign.
So if I filed at 54 and they're finishing this up at 56, which grid would I fall under? The 50 to 54 or the 55 to 59.
You fall under the 50 to 54 and a day before 55, because you'd basically be requesting. I mean, I don't know who your attorney is, but you'd be requesting from when you filed, and potentially retroactive benefits on top of that to go from before you filed up to 17 months worth. And in doing so, you would essentially be using that 50 to 54 and a day before 55 category of age for the potential grid out. Now, with that said, you always reserve the option to go ahead and switch your, date from the protective filing date or an earlier date with retroactive benefits to your 55th birthday, or basically the day before your 55th birthday, which is how we attorneys usually do it. And when you do that, you then create an easier system for the judge to go ahead and adjudicate you in the positive way. Because you're now in the 55 plus, but you're going to be cutting off all that back pay. But, an attorney, are you currently represented, like you have an attorney working on it, or no?
I do, but I've never talked to him. Not
Awesome.
once.
That seems to be a theme. So,
yeah, we all need you, but you don't practice everywhere.
Well, now I do. I do all the states in the United States. We got pretty much claimants from all over, and all of the possessions too, like the little islands around the United States. But yeah, so
I wish I knew that before I filed.
yeah, no worries. So your big thing is this: you want to call your attorney and ask them one question: what is my amended alleged onset date? What is my amended alleged onset date? And
they did my alleged at 54. I know that.
Yeah, but what's the day? Like, why is it that day?
It was August of 2020. No, 2021, August the 5th. That's when everything, got real bad to where I couldn't work.
Okay. So that is going to be.
But I was missing work and stuff before, so.
Yeah. So you have to pick a date that's after when you were working over SGA, which this date sounds like it was. And then you want to point to the medical evidence that proves that you were disabled during that time, because that shows, that you meet the severity record, requirements. So, yeah, I mean, if you've got that date, then you're going to basically, was that date?
It was just 1 month before I turned 55.
All right. So 1 month is okay, because we month before the month in which they turn, that age. So so in that case, you're going to be heading for basically the 55 to 59 and the day before 60 category. So you got to work with your attorney on the sedentary and light categories so that you can get a maxed out, you can get a grid out. So have you gone over like the DOTs with your attorney? Have you gone over, what the arguments are for your education and stuff like that?
I've called and left messages to try, would it be better for me just to call the adjudicator, because he never called me back ever.
Yeah. If you can't get a hold of your attorney, then you can always swap attorneys, or you can call the adjudicator. But go study the grid rules. Because your education background, your work history background, the skilled work, semi-skilled work they have within the past 15 years, along with basically transferable work skill opportunities, are going to be super important to figuring out if you're disabled. And then, of course, you're going to have a medical record that shows severity.
Okay. Well, I sure thank you for everything, and I thank you for everything you do for everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, you have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll catch you down the line, Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, guys, so we're going to take the next phone call. Let's magically create one. By the way, we have unfortunately missed about 41 calls. That's okay. Here we go. Let's see what we got here. Speaker. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. We are live on YouTube. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like for me to answer a specific question, or would you like me to run hearing questions with you? Go ahead.
Specific question, please, Walter. This is Tommy Two Toes.
Perfect. Absolutely.
When you're getting back pay for your children, and one of them has become an adult, but she's still in school, how much, I guess that would be a benefits question. I'm sorry, confused. Scratch that. Ticket to Work program. Will they allow you to go into business for yourself?
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm not sure how successful that is, and here's why. Everybody I know who has tried that has failed at doing it. So I don't think. I don't know. I don't know. I can do a video on that. It's not something that pops up often. They usually require it to be with a company that's been pre-set up, that somebody has to sign off on what you're doing. So I don't think, obviously you start a company that's like, putting a lot of faith in you, but at the same time, go get me a copy of the most recent ticket to work contract that they have you sign, and I'll do a video specifically on that. And maybe there's a workaround to be able to do that. But from my understanding, they don't do it, but I could be wrong. They could change it. But I don't know anybody that successfully tried to do that.
Oh, okay. Well, I thank you for your time, and as everyone says, you're the best out there.
Thank you, good sir. Thank you. You have a wonderful night.
Good evening. You as well.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot, Disability Resolution PA. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to run hearing questions with you, or would you like me to answer a question?
Yeah. I was just watching you on YouTube, and I just had a quick question regarding some of the things that I've heard you talk about in the past regarding like possessions and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been on disability. It was a fight for me.
Sure.
And I am just a lung cancer survivor, and they removed my whole upper lobe, or by half my lung, where my tumor was surrounding my heart and my lung.
Oh, wow.
And I told the doctors I want the surgery, open me up in my sternum, like open heart surgery. They refused to do that. They did the exploratory surgery in my side, and they said, well, we're going to put 2 openings in you and all that. Well, after my surgery, I had 6 openings in my side, and the biggest one 8 inches across. Well, it was the one where they take in, like, separate your rib cage and all that, and now I have severe nerve damage from it.
Yeah.
But when I went in for my disability claim, they refused me at first, and then basically the lawyer I had did nothing for me. But the lawyer I had through my union hall, he basically directed me in the right path.
Okay.
So I went up and did all the testing and all that. Well, when I had my meeting with the judge, I pretty much left as basically he didn't get to speak at all. But what I told the judge, look, I got a big camper. I have a cross rocket motorcycle. I have a big, huge boat. I got a small bass boat. I love to go camping, fishing, and all that. But I said, I don't know what I can do right now. I said, as it is right now with my motorcycle, I said, I used to ride it every single day going to work. And now I could only, this past summer, I only got on it twice. When the mind is willing and the body is not, probably better off just to sell it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he went ahead and, okay, with all the information I had, all the testing I went and had done at the local clinic down their SSI testing for SSI benefits.
Mm-hmm.
I failed that tremendously. But I heard you talk on some of your videos about people having certain things and too much. And I was just wondering about that. I wasn't quite understanding kind of with what you were talking about. Like with, I had all of my stuff I had that I have now, I had prior to like what happened to me, unfortunately, which I don't get to enjoy camping. I don't get to enjoy fishing. I mean, it's horrible. But, if I have family that, wants to take me, I can go, but I can't put the boat in the water by myself.
I can't set up the camper by myself, but I can drive it. That's about it. But it's not a driving one; it's a travel trailer.
Sure.
And I was just figured I would call in if I could get a chance to talk to you. I didn't understand, what was you like talking about? How they could justify coming in and saying, "Well, you have too much," as far as like the camper, or you can lose your benefits.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm not understanding that.
Are you SSDI or SSI?
SSDI.
Yeah, so you don't have to worry about it, because remember, SSI, there's resource limits, so you can't have a boat and a yacht and a flat bottom and a V nose and a Corvette, and you can't have all that. But on SSDI, they're not worried about that because you paid into the system, like you earned your ticket to ride the disability roller coaster. Whereas with SSI benefits, you have to be poor. It's the program of last resort. You're not supposed to have a houseboat and a speedboat. Yeah. And
I was kind of getting worried about it. I said, well, I told my wife and my kids, I said, I'm half afraid. I said, if I'm out and I'm trying to enjoy fishing with my kids, I said, and let's say somebody, he's not disabled. Well, okay, come try to live my life one time. Yeah. With what I have, I can't hardly bend over. I can only squat down, and being an ex-pipe fitter, union pipe fitter, certified welder, all of that.
Yeah.
Wasn't nothing for me to put 200, 300-pound pipe on my shoulder with another guy on the other end of a 20-foot stick. And we walk it 30 or 40 yards to the pipe stands so we could cut it, put the fittings on. I welded up,
sure.
X-ray welds and all that.
Oh,
but today, it about kills me to do, anything. Even, I go to the grocery store. It kills me having to say, hey, can somebody help me load up the dog food into my basket? I need somebody to help me, put the water in my basket. But, I hear so many horror stories about people on SSDI. Oh, well, we caught them doing, they were out fishing with their family. We're going to yank their benefits away from them. And I was just wanting to get that clarified a little bit because I was getting a little worried on it, which, don't get me wrong, I'm not going out every day. I'm sorry, I just get out of breath a little easy. But I don't go out fishing. My boat has not left my backyard since last July.
I mean, look, here's the thing. Just stay away from social media. Stay away from taking pictures, videos, and posting them online because, remember, the CDI units out there, they use that stuff to show, we have a video of you on a jet ski with a supermodel drinking champagne with, crab cake in the back. It's one of those things you just got to be careful with that,
Yeah, like jet skis and guys riding actual two-wheel motorcycles. I would say, I said, well, if I could find a three-wheeler motorcycle, something I could just climb on, I can't hold it up. All right.
You can't call it a three-wheeler.
Down with
you got to call it a trike. Don't be uncool now.
Yeah, like a three-wheel motorcycle, you could just kind of slowly get on it, and then slowly, it's like driving a car.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I said, I warned a few people that I know. I said, you guys driving a motorcycle, I said, if the wrong person sees that and you're on SSDI, like I told my judge,
right.
I said, when you go and have had a motorcycle ever since you were 16 years old, and then all of a sudden something happens in your life and bam, you can only drive it.
Yeah.
3 times or twice in the whole entire summer where I live at, which is only about 4 months of warm weather, and I've only gotten it out twice.
Mm-hmm.
I said, that's horrifying. But, and he agreed with me, and it shocked me.
Yeah.
But I wish I would have known lawyers like you would have been that could have represented me because this lawyer I had tried to throw me under the bus. I basically told him to shut up.
Yeah, yeah.
I said you have, and he never contacted me. I was talking to the last lady that called in, where her lawyer wouldn't contact her back and all that.
Sure, sure.
Mine did the same thing to me. He never called me. I never had contact with him or anything before my court date.
Yeah.
Well, I was out. I was, I'm only, well, when I got sick, I was only 47, unfortunately. Today I'm 50. And I just said, well, wouldn't wish this on my worst enemy, but I don't want to take a chance on losing my benefits, because if they pull those benefits from me, I lose my,
Yeah, bad day. Yeah.
And I was just getting kind of worried about it. I go, well, if I go camping and they see me out there camping, well, how did you get here? I just didn't want to put myself into that situation.
Right.
If it deemed not. And I figured I would call in. That's when I said, well, I'll call in and ask you about it. I mean, do I have to be scared about SSDI coming after me?
Right, right. I mean, so here's the thing. Just be careful when it comes to the types of media that you produce online and the statements you make to adjudicators. You want to present.
I don't do anything on social media.
Okay.
Nothing.
Good.
It's about the only thing that I have ever posted at all on, like, let's say Facebook.
Sure.
If my kids took me out for my birthday,
yeah, I
might post us. Okay, I'm drinking.
Right.
Okay, that's the only thing that I post. I'm holding up my drink. Yep, I've turned, X amount of years. I'm still kicking and, kind of.
Sure.
Yeah, that's the only thing that I ever post. Well, back in the day, I would say prior to this, let's say 3.5 years ago, I'd be on my crotch rocket where I live. My boy came out. I said, hey, take a video for me.
Sure.
I said, you never know, one of these days I might not be able to do this.
Right.
I said, I want you to take a video of me. I'm going to do a wheelie in front of the house at 100 miles an hour.
That's good to show your kids they can dream. That's good.
I was 45 years old, but I've always been on cross rockets.
Sure.
And that was before I got sick. And I said, okay, do a film for me. I said, I'm going to come by the house. I'll let you know how fast I was going. My boy, 25 years old, got up the road, came by the house, came back. Oh my God, Dad, it was like a blur going by. I said, 194 miles an hour.
Wow, man,
I don't recommend doing this, but where I live is out in the country.
Sure.
We're the only house on the road. I said, if you're going through residential, do speed limit.
Yeah.
I said, out here where I'm at, the only person I'm going to hurt is basically the dumb blank on the bike.
Man, you are putting your lips right up to death's ear at that speed.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And I just said now, with everything, but I'm glad I got that kind of straightened out with you. But I do appreciate your time, and I know a lot of people look up to you in the United States with their SSDI. You're the only one telling the truth.
Thank you.
And I do appreciate that very much.
Thank you. I appreciate it too. So what amazes me about the system is that, and that's why I have to make these $200 increase videos. And I hate doing those videos because it's like a whole depressing, brings the mood down thing. But these other channels, they got 400,000 subscribers, 1.1 million subscribers. And man, they talk about BS all the time. And I'm sitting there, I'm just like, damn, this is how Hollywood is so successful. They can sell BS and people want it more than the truth. And I think
yes.
I think the reality is that people are starting to catch on to it, and they're, because every other day there's $1,400 tomorrow, $1,500 today. every other day they're promising something else. It's just, you can only promise somebody something so many times on YouTube before they start to pull back and go, hey, wait a minute, like, I'm not a millionaire yet. What the hell happened? So I appreciate that,
And me,
yeah,
I listen to some of the dockets from the government in-house where they put it on video.
Yeah.
And they talk about it, and it all gets shot down.
Yeah.
I don't know how these other people on YouTube are floating it out there. Oh, there's $1,200 coming. There's $1,400 coming. Oh, there's $2,000 coming. No, they're not giving out anything right now.
Yeah.
They're never going to be giving out anything. SSI as a whole, covering SSDI, the whole schmeal.
Yeah.
They're almost.
Yeah.
And it's sad. And I paid in my entire life, and unfortunately, I've lived a pretty healthy, supported life.
Good.
For me and my family. My last year working, I went, I'm not going to throw a huge number out there, but I was into ever made.
Good.
The year I got sick. September, when it hit me, well, actually, it hit me in July, and I continued to work for 2.5 months until the pain got unbearable.
Sure.
Well, I just told them, I can't do this anymore. Well, at that date, I'd already made almost $200,000.
Damn.
And I've made pretty good money my whole entire life. Life paid in a whole lot to this SSI.
What kind of job are you doing? Because you're making more than me. So.
I was a union pipe fitter.
Yeah, now that job, man, a lot of people don't realize, but like pipe fitters, that job is hard and it sucks. Like, to get the pipe right, to get the right gouging, and the power that goes into that rod. I mean, I've done stick welding, sure, but I mean, when you guys stick weld, I mean, that's like a little lava chain coming down that thing,
Yep, all correct. Like stick welding, heliarchy, MIG welding.
Yeah.
Cutting the pipe with a torch, cutting the Texas bevel on them. Doing what we need to do to, get people. I've worked in the nukes. I've worked in the refineries.
Yeah.
I'm up north, in the United States.
Yeah.
I've, pretty much gave my life to them, and, they gave me a good life in return.
Sure.
But for the most part, you have a lot of people up there, these young kids do not want to do that.
Yeah.
And it just kills me, the amount of money that they could be making. They would rather have a handout. So I'm like, well, that just,
yeah,
stop that handout and go to the apprenticeship for 5 years. Work your way up to the good, it did that job. And now?
Yes, it did. It did.
Well, it did.
It did.
Yeah, because I was working at a refinery, and we got into a release from their cracker unit.
Sure.
It released on us. Out of 7 guys, 4 of them went to the ER with burns on their lungs. Me and the other welder ended up in the infirmary for 8 hours. We were being watched. And to this day, we, as a whole group, because we were all different trades, have never talked to one another.
Yeah.
I know me and another guy have health problems.
Yeah, yeah.
And, I'm not the Sue happy. I wasn't like that.
I gotta be honest.
I've never, never went any route, because to me, it's responsibility of the refinery, not my union job.
Yeah,
But
well,
I just
there
said,
would be
for
liability
the
on
most
both.
part,
Yeah, you would implead both because
yes.
they have a duty to also be on top of protective, we're talking about toxic tort here because when you lay pipe and you have that kind of move, people don't realize when you're laying heavy metal pipe and you got to put a big slag down that thing, what you come to is that little spark that comes off the end of that is enough to basically go ahead and cause, a lot of issues with your skin. I mean, you walk away with a tan if you're not wearing your full coat and your full helmet. Yeah.
Well, even me, to this day, if you look at my hands and my arms, and I always wore a leather jacket, they don't protect you.
Yeah.
That slag will burn right through it.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, if I'm welding, let's say in the worst part, doing heli arc, not so much. Doing MIG welding, not so much.
Yeah.
The stick welding was the culprit.
Yeah.
If I'm up underneath at 6 o'clock doing a position high line, starting at the bottom, you're bringing that weld up. That slag's gonna fly off of there. If it lands on your arm,
oh, bad day.
You can't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't stop.
Yeah.
You have to continue to weld and suffer through the burning and everything because it's an X-ray weld. You don't stop until you're comfortable to stop.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, people that have no idea, they don't know what I'm talking about. But guys that have welded that, and it's horrible.
The worst experience.
But
I had welding.
Part of the job.
Yeah, I mean, when I was welding and I was first starting to learn how to weld, and I was stick welding on a big heavy trailer, I sneezed, and I will never do that again while welding because the stick flies off. At the same time, whatever you're working on splatters. And, I was winging it. I had a t-shirt on, I had a helmet on, I had heavy gloves on, but man, when that stuff hit my shirt and burned right through it, I was like, holy cow. Cause you don't appreciate, when you see somebody with like, an acetylene torch, like that's a real, I mean, that's like a goddamn, that's like a lightsaber right there. That shit will cut through anything, but with the welding.
Correct.
Yeah, with the welding, you're just like, well, it's not that bad. But then when you get hit with that stuff, oh my God, misery.
You about jump out of your skin.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost to the point. People have. I mean, they have no idea what you go through, but it is. It's just a part of my. Well, I mean, it was a part of my life, and I love to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, I still don't get me wrong. If you would. Yes, that's what kills me. If SSDI ever came to my house and they had me open my garage door, they would see in my garage mechanics tools, welders, cutting torches, plasma cutters.
Yeah.
They got dust on them.
Yeah.
I can't, and it's horrible for me. I did that for many, many years. I physically can't go out and pick up a piece of steel, grab another piece of steel, come up on the workbench like I used to start welding.
Yeah.
I just can't do it.
It's a steady
without
hand.
help.
Yeah.
And now, even with me, I'm trying to weld something, and my hands just shake now.
Yeah.
Especially my left hand. It's horrible.
Yeah.
And it just kills me, and that's what I was kind of scared on, okay, if they do come here and they have me raise my garage, well, what's all these tools? What's this cutting torch and the welder and the plasma cutter, all the steel? Well, I'm just like, look, I've had that for years before I got sick.
Well,
and it just kind of getting me scared a little bit. I'm like, look at the dust on it.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
It's not like I use it.
For sure.
And I said, now, have I went out and small light pieces, if I wanted to put a little something together that doesn't weigh anything? Yeah, I've done that. But when I look over at a 3-inch pipe that's schedule 120, that weighs like 240 pounds, it's been sitting there for 4.5, 5 years. That's just pipe dreams for me now.
Yeah.
I can't even move.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's what's getting me. Well, if they come in, well, what are you doing with that?
They don't usually do
And they
home
just kind of,
investigations unless a CDI person is involved, but you sound country, which means if somebody rolls up on you and says, "Hey, can I come in?" you know to say no. So,
yes, correct.
right.
I've kind of listened to you, like if a sheriff come in, deputy come up here and try to say, "Oh yeah, get off my property. I don't care about whoever you're trying to investigate. I'm not stupid.
Right.
Get off my property. I'm not helping you."
Right.
Tell SSI where they could go.
Right. Right.
And just, stop it.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
But all righty. Yep. All right. Well, you have a wonderful day.
You too, good sir. I'll catch you later. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, guys. So we're going to be taking one more phone call. If you want to call in, go ahead and call in. We missed 50. I don't know. It's like 2. There's one that says 43 and one that says like 10. So I guess 53. We've missed 53 calls. So that's notification 67. So maybe that's text messages included. If you want to call in, the final phone call of the night will be 407-279-1754. You don't get to win anything for calling in last, but you do get to go ahead and have a good time. If nobody calls in, however, within the next 10 seconds, we're going to end the video because I do want to go to sleep. I was up till 4:30 last night because I was taking these little guys. Oh, these little guys right here. And so I'm not good with most medications. So if anything bad happens to me that like can't be fixed with a bit of dirt and some country love, I'm just not good with medication. So it messes up my whole everything. So I was up till 4:30 last night. We have, let's see real quick, an incoming call. All right, let's see what we got here. Hi, this is Attorney Walter Hnot. Remember to use a fake name throughout this process. Would you like me to answer a specific question or would you like me to run hearing questions with you? Go ahead.
Specific question.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay, I receive SSDI. I just received an update report. The update reports, as you know, is pretty simple. 6 questions, right?
Yep.
Okay, so here's my problem. 5 out of 6 is easy peasy. I had an injury basically 19 months ago. I tried snow skiing and I smashed my knee. So I need to put something in there, but I don't want to put too much or too little. It's like 14 blocks.
So you want to, okay, so what are your impairments? And your question is, how is snow skiing going to look poorly with your improvement status during the CDR, right?
Okay, I'm sorry, sir. Can you repeat that?
Yeah. So you're wondering how to put down, okay, so what is the actual question from the SSA?
Oh, the question is, have you been hospitalized or had surgery since June of 2021?
Oh, you were out, doing more than building a snowman, and they'll see how you injure yourself. Yeah.
So, obviously, I'm not gonna not put it down, but do I want to put, skiing, bam, knee, or just, ACL replacement, or how do I phrase it in 14 blocks?
So what you're asking me is essentially how do you schmooze the wording so that it does not cause a shitstorm as to why you were skiing with the impairments that you have. And I got to tell you that nothing you put down is going to keep them from not buying those medical records. So the bottom line is like, do you know what's in the medical records? Because that's really, really what this comes down to.
Okay, yeah, I mean, all my medical records, everything is at the VA. I mean, the VA supported the trip, and then when I got injured, they did all the surgeries and fixed me up and all that stuff.
Yeah, but still, remember, VA is a lot more lenient with 100% TDIU or 100% permanent.
Yeah.
So I would say this: do you have a copy of the medical records from the VA and what they? Because if these are VA records, you got a shot here at not having much disclosure because the VA is famously bad at, writing a lot of facts in and analysis in. They're, let me slap a sticker on this puppy and send it down the line. So
yeah. I mean, it's an extensive record. I mean,
oh no.
You know what I mean? I mean, you're talking freaking thousands of pages, right?
Well, I mean, look, what did they say? Like, what's the fact pattern? What do they say in the fact pattern for the VA records? And I mean, like, because remember, when they do the facts, it's like a paragraph. Like, person was skiing, ate some dirt, boom, done.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going to be in there, because they had to justify the ACL surgery based on my age. So, they put a description of what happened in there for sure.
Okay, so the question is,
it's okay. I'm not trying to be, I mean, obviously if I don't put it in there and at some point in time they decide to do, then I'm going to be screwed because I didn't tell them something I omitted the fact. But if I put too much in there,
what were the original impairments? Like what were walk me through the top 5.
Okay. All right. The Social Security's got me down for brain injury. I'm a TBI guy, and then back injury. Those are the 2 primary ones they have me as vocational.
Those are like the worst. Like you could have a cardio or a brain injury, as partial neuro. I mean, those are like the worst for this fact pattern setup. Like, because if you got a back problem, what are you doing skiing? If you got a brain injury, what are you doing skiing? No. Anyway,
that's a long story, but
yeah. It's tough because what? Well, I mean, the
15 blocks, and
I mean, the easiest answer is obviously you shouldn't have been skiing.
Right. Well, yeah, and no, but that's, believe it or not, like my neurologist put me in the handicap ski program to help rebuild my ability to use my arms and legs and my brain together, if that makes sense to you. So,
I mean, the best argument you have is that you failed at doing the thing that you were likely to fail at as a result of having those impairments. So, I mean, you have your proof that
correct.
You weren't good at it,
yeah, that's absolutely true.
I mean, that's the real, like, if you were good at it and posting this on Facebook and all of a sudden I'm seeing you in like a special. Now, to be fair, the SSA does give deferential. I mean, I can't say that they do for sure, but from what I've noticed, they give a lot of deferential preference to those disabled who are showing up in the Paralympics. So, if you're doing that, they're going to let you do your thing because you're an inspiration to everybody. You, however, are not an inspiration to everybody when it comes to skiing. So, I mean, that would be my argument. Yeah, my argument would be, and I would contextually outline it if they ask you, not up front though, let them come to you and basically outline why you were without capacity. And even though you had the okay from the doctors, hence you went and did it because, you had the medical allowance, but you can also use this as an opportunity to explain why you were not of capacity to handle, basically skiing. I mean, all right, let me ask you this. What was this like was this a round green? Was this a blue square? Was this a black diamond? Like, what are we looking at here?
Oh man, I went up to North Carolina and I basically hit like a blue square, and it was ice and I was done. Like that's it. I mean, I just, twisted my legs freaking all the way to the right. And it was just trying to, hey, I'm busted up, but I can still do something. I did like 3 years of handicap skiing, with the ski programs and modified equipment and all that. I'm like, I can do it.
Yeah.
So the 1 year I tried to do it by myself, bam, there you go. Right.
I mean, did you impress her? Was she happy with you at the end of it? Because
just me, bro. But no, I mean, like I was a soldier for over 20 years, man. Like I'm not trying to lie about it.
You got the go-to attitude. Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
But I'm just not trying to, I'm not going to not tell them, but also I don't want to write one word that's like, hell yeah, full investigation, thousands of agents are coming to your house. You know what I mean? Right.
I mean, in the future, I might choose, snowmobiling. I feel like that might be,
No, I'm done. I'm done, man. I mean, it took the VA like 11 months to replace my ACL. So I walked around with bones crushing, and it was a pretty horrible, it was a painful learning experience. Is that the way to phrase that, I suppose? It was horrible. And it was 19 months ago, man. I mean, if it had been 24 months ago, then it wouldn't be on the paper, but it was 19 months ago. And I mean, that's just how it is, right?
Honestly, I think you got a good answer here. I mean, look, how many days were you skiing before this happened?
Oh, 3, maybe 2.
Okay. So, and let me ask you this: when you went out there, was somebody training you, or was this just I'm doing it?
No, this was I've been through the training. I had the outrigger poles and been with I can do this. I'm a big boy. I'm going to go do this on my own. So.
Did you have a date, or no? This is just like I'm doing it.
Oh no, this is just like I'm doing it by myself, like 9 o'clock in the morning, North Carolina, because that's where I lived at the time, and I did it, man. But I mean, it just there's 15 blocks. I'm thinking, okay, ACL replacement, right knee. I mean,
Yeah.
that's
Such a negative outcome for such a little thing. That's the crazy thing. That's why I don't snowboard anymore. Cause like, you're good. And then somebody either runs into you or you run into you, which is how I like to put it. And, I mean, you twist stuff. I mean, the ski people, their feet, one goes one way, the other goes the other way,
Yep. Yep. And that was the deal. I was just like, hey, I done all that, the modified adaptive ski programs and all that stuff. And I'm like, hey, I can go do it. But I mean, this is the paperwork I'm trying to fill out now is just the disability update report. It's got 6 questions. I mean, 5 questions, I'm golden, but this particular one, like, I mean, I guess I just write ACL replacement right knee and send that up as the update report. And then they'll send me they'll do probably a full, what do they call a full review, CDR.
I would put that plus due to failed rehabilitation.
I have 15 blocks. Like, oh, you're saying, in the like the comments below or something like that.
Well, I mean, and here's why. I mean, I would highlight, that because remember, you were sent out specifically to attempt something. Like a lot of people don't realize this that are watching the channel right now, but VA, they have programs like they send people to work on horse farms, they send people out to do yeah. So a lot of people don't know that the VA has this amazing thing where they like help people with the future of their life. And I always looked at the skiing programs and I thought, damn, that's either going to go really well or not. And you, sir, are proof of, a positive attitude.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
yeah. Exactly, man.
Yeah. But,
I mean, okay. So you're saying in the 15 block part, cause I know you're tired, man. And I know you've been sick.
Yeah.
I hope you feel better soon.
Yeah.
So ACL replacement, right knee, and then down in the remarks section, add something like injury due to failed rehabilitation, something like that.
You could do that. You could leave that out. Ultimately, they're going to buy the records. They're going to probably send out a response to you. But at the same time, are you TDIU or 100% PNT?
Oh, I'm PNT, permanent total 100%. And I'm banged up, man. Like I'm at the VA twice a week. I mean, so, they're going to be looking at hundreds of appointments even within, I mean, if I'm going twice a week, shit, how many appointments is that in a year,
Keep it simple. Smallest amount of words possible. Let them come to you for further explanation. They reserve the right, and then kind of go from there. I mean, look, back issue, neurological issue, brain trauma, stuff like that. They're going to be wondering why the hell were you skiing? But you have a doctor's note saying we're sending you out there. So in front of a judge, a judge is gonna say, okay, yeah, you tried.
I'm like, hey, I try blue and it didn't work out.
Was that the?
Oh, was it the first blue? Man, I got to think on it. Actually, I think so. Yeah, I'm like, I got this, and I went up to the top of the hill, and I came down in a wild tumbling assortment. So,
when they had to grab you, did they bring out the stretcher and everything and put you on it and then slide you down?
No. I mean, I fell, I rolled, and stopped, and I got up. I was in shock, and I skied down the rest of the hill. Wow. Like I was just like, holy shit. Wow. Yeah, I mean, without an ACL, and then I was like, oh man, and then I got to drive myself to the VA hospital and all that stuff. So
yeah, wow. Well, I tell you what, let us know how it turns out, and
yeah, man. So. It is what it is. I mean, so So I'll send this update report in, and then what you're saying is they're probably going to do what, a CDR, so send me that paperwork and then have to go from there, or they'll send me something, a specific question document about this incident, or who knows.
Well, what they'll do is they'll ask for a clarifying statement. They'll have a DDS rep, ask you, hey, what happened with this? So you'll get a call. And when you get that call, usually it's better to have an attorney, even if you pay him like an hourly or whatever, to act as the intermediary,
Okay, all right. Well, how do I set that up?
You just gotta find a local attorney who'll basically, take what you say, make sure it's got the filters on, and then repeat it to the DDS rep. And the reason why is that if they come back and say, the attorney can always say, well, this was, not the correct statement. That was, I accidentally, whatever, you can always begin the assessment of whether or not the attorney correctly distributed the statements to the SSA. But it's always a good idea to have an intermediary, because look, they take away the benefits. The VA is going to be like, well, should we take away the benefits? That's
what I'm saying, right? Exactly. Yeah, exactly the deal. So, the problem I had, how I finally got to you is because I'm currently getting all my SSDI and stuff. Like, no lawyer wanted to touch me, right? Because they're like, hey, so in this case, would your firm represent me?
I mean, we could always do something like that. That's fine. We'll have to have an off the YouTube phone call, obviously, but yeah.
I mean, you got to go, and I know it's late, and I appreciate everything you do, sir. Thank you very much, and I hope you feel better.
Thank you, good sir. Have a wonderful night. I'll catch you later.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. So we're going to do one more phone call for Diana, and I don't know. So whoever is calling in the next couple of seconds of 70 calls that we've missed, what I need you to do is I need you to just let Diana call. However you're going to do that, just let her call. So, by the way, Diana, if you need the phone number, this is the phone number. There you go. Call in. We'll catch up. It is 10:17 p.m. I wanted to go to bed at 10:30. So I will be honest with you guys. It's going to be a relatively short call unless we start talking about welding. I don't know why. For some reason, I like talking about welding. I had a lot of good memories with that. A lot of interesting memories with that. Good night, Stella. And okay, so we're going to count it down. Diana, you have 10 seconds to give me a call. We are at 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 1.5 and a little itty bitty, 1 and a halfsy, 1 and a third, 1 and a fourth, 1 and a fifth. I think this is her. Hold on. Let me. Howdy, Madame Attorney Walter Hnot. Glad you called. All right. Remember to use a fake name. Howdy.
Right.
So what is the legal question? Yeah.
I don't have a legal question. They all told me that I should call you.
Oh, there's no legal question. You're good. We're like, I can go to sleep. I can go like dream about Waffle House and hang out and just do a nice dreaming exercise.
I can't go, so you can't go.
Oh God, why would you put that on me? There's blueberry waffles at stake in this.
Are you gonna bring me some?
I mean, I don't know where I'm in New Jersey. I'm on a mountain in the middle of God's country out here. Yeah. So
they told me to call you. It was kind of like a dare thing, and you don't dare me to do something like that because I'll do it.
Damn right. I'm telling you. That's how I got banned from what's it called? There's this place in Florida where you can go and play all these games, and it's like a carnival, and they have these go-karts there, and I'm not really allowed to be in a lot of things that go fast because a different Walter comes out, a horrible sinner, if you will, comes out. And so anyways, I got banned from that place. Fun spot. I was banned from 2 of them.
Yeah, I can't imagine you could get banned from anywhere.
I had so much fun. They allow you to drink and drive. It's a good time. But those were.
You had fun getting banned.
They warned me, and they warned me.
Wait a minute, what was it?
It was go-karting. Okay, Well, it was bumper.
Yeah, I
No,
know what
technically,
go-kart is.
they said it wasn't bumper cars. It was go-karting. It was
No.
go-karting, but I mean, look, there's a lot of tight
bumper
turns.
cars are fun. Have you ever been on a bumper car?
Yeah, so they have this system where they like X mark off, and if you get 3 X's, you get kicked
Yeah.
out. And then if you come back and you're already kicked out, then you get banned. But if you buy another ticket, so here's the trick. When you go and buy
Okay, I'm listening.
when you go to Fun Spot, if you buy, if you spend like another $125 to buy like or whatever it is now, 150, it's probably 200 now. But if you buy
I got
another,
that just sticking out of me.
yeah, if you buy like an annual pass and you just use a different name from one of your cards, so like, instead
Yeah.
of being like Walter Hnot, it's like Rudolph Hnot, then basically you
Right.
pop up in their system differently, and you can keep going back so long as you can change your name on the thing. I mean, it's still my name. I'm still not the third. But there was a time when I was in law school and afterwards and remember, when you get banned from Fun Spot, you don't have to report that to the bar. That's not part of things that you report to the bar.
You're a mess.
I had a great time though. It was good times, but
I'm sure you did.
I really did. God, those were the Fun Spot is such an amazing place. I would know. I've been an annual pass holder many times, and it's just it's like a carnival, and everything's permanent. So like this big roller coasters aren't that big, and they got rid of, I don't know, 3-4 years ago, maybe it was 7 years ago, I don't even know, but they got rid of this one wooden roller coaster that was amazing. It was so good. I mean, it was literally like, it was a death trap. Yeah, sure it was, but it was just so much fun.
They are, but I can't get on them anymore because of my back.
Oh yeah, no, the wood ones are, I mean, all over the place. They jolt you all over the place. But
I can't even get on like the ones they have. Well, yeah, you know Florida. You've been to Busch Gardens, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
I have not been kicked out of there.
I can't even get on those.
Those are cool.
Well, I live in Tampa, so Busch Gardens isn't that far from me, but I can't get on them.
It's one of those things. Honestly, like it's just, Florida has so much cool stuff, but yeah, anyways, so thank you for calling. I'm gonna hop off. I'm gonna go to bed. You have a wonderful night, and I promise not to go.
I'm the one that you talked to Monday, right? You realize that, right?
Keep in mind, if I talk to you on Monday, then I've had
Monday on the phone. Yeah.
You do sound familiar. But don't tell me, because we're live right now. Yeah. So I mean, like, don't tell me.
I won't tell you.
Yeah, but
if somebody mugged me, Walter, they would just turn around and return me right back to you. Just so you know.
There you go.
Say, oh, you can't take her. She's gotta go.
Oh my goodness. Well, I tell you what, I will catch you a little bit later. You have a wonderful night, and I'll meet you at Waffle House.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Perfect.
I'll get there next month.
Excellent. Well, I'll catch you later. You have a wonderful night.
You too. Get some rest.
Thank you. Will do.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Alrighty, guys. I'm gonna catch you guys later. So I'm super tired. I'm gonna hit the bed and basically just chill out. You have a wonderful night, and don't ever get the Fun Spot. Don't ever get kicked out of Fun Spot. It's terrible. There's like a walk of shame thing that they do. And keep in mind, there's multiple Fun Spots, so you can just go to a different one. But anyways, I will catch you guys later. You have a wonderful night, and we will go from there. All right. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.